Relapsing on NoFap hurts and gives us an unpleasant feeling, but try not to take it personally, because NoFap is difficult. Relapsing is common. We are biological beings with a strong need to procreate. However, the supernormal stimulation of pornographic content takes over this drive. Despite the fact that you may not be entirely to blame for your relapses, this video will teach you how to recover from them. Our first advice for you is to be, very kind to yourself. Because adult content is supernormal stimulus. It will trigger your brain far more than any other natural phenomenon. You'll always be more excited by adult content than a naked woman. As a result, it's uncommon to relapse several times when starting your NoFap journey. Unfortunately, the majority of us believe that growth must be flawless, which is why we are so hard on ourselves when we experience a temporary setback. But punishing yourself will never work, since you'll always be looking for ways to feel better. Unfortunately, the majority of the things we seek to make us feel better, including fast food, drugs, and even more adult content, aren't healthy. Instead, be respectful, sympathetic, and kind to yourself. It makes sense to establish a positive and accepting connection with yourself because you will be constantly living with yourself. You'll make mistakes. It's just a fact of life. So why punish yourself when you can have the option of treating yourself like your best friend? Our second piece of advice is to install an adult content blocker. The primary reason why quitting watching adult content is because it is so prevalent and very easy and simple to get to. Anyone can witness an unending supply of ladies who are completely or nearly naked with just a few clicks. In social media, willpower by itself is insufficient at first. This is when adult content blockers are useful because your will is powerless side by side with adult content. Adult content blockers filter all adult stuff on the internet. When the habit loop is broken, you will eventually forget that adult content is even available. That's why we strongly advocate utilizing an adult content blocker because of this. Our third piece of advice is for you to evaluate your relapse. It is a reality that feelings like melancholy, loneliness, and even humiliation often serve as fuel for relapses. The issue is that relapsing just magnifies these feelings of melancholy, loneliness, and humiliation. As a result, a toxic loop is created that is nearly impossible to break. Writing in a journal is an excellent approach to reflect on your relapse and discover why you're so reliant on adult content, especially right after relapsing. Here are some fundamental questions you can make of yourself. Our fourth piece of advice is having a solid reset process. After a relapse, it's common to feel awful and dirty about yourself. We advise you to establish a regimen that will help you get back on track and feel good about yourself right away. My reset regimen during my adult content addiction phase included taking a shower, getting a drink, and watching NoFap videos online. It could be different for you. Take a long stroll, read a motivation book, meditate, or engage in some prayer. Whatever you choose to do, be sure it makes you feel good about yourself. A relapse is not the end of the world after all. Our fifth piece of advice is to never binge. Relapses do not constitute a hard reset. It's just a hiccup on the journey. It is not going to be a linear progress. There are going to be ups and downs to it. Therefore, it's okay to encounter obstacles and setbacks while pursuing any meaningful objective. Having said that though, binging on adult stuff is the worst thing you can do after relapsing. It will only serve to harm your brain and exacerbate your issues. As a bonus tip, please go ahead and delete social media, at least until you kick your adult content habit. In terms of social media, Instagram and TikTok are the worst. Softcore adult content is available on both platforms. Women often dance suggestively and exclusively share images of themselves wearing bikinis because they know that doing so will draw attention to them. For me, getting rid of Instagram was crucial to breaking my addiction to adult stuff. Today, I would remove Instagram and TikTok if I were still dependent on pornographic content. Thanks for watching. If you like our stuff, subscribe for more motivational content. See you in the next video of The Generous.